Welcome to the Fast Comp Network. And before I get started, man, I just want to give a huge shout out and a huge thank you to Jacob Fry. This is my first subscriber on the Fast Comp Network, man. I appreciate you subscribing to the network, and I just wanted to shout you out. All right, what I want to talk about today is sports brands, or should I say, athletic apparel brands and athlete signature deal partnerships. And what is the thinking behind signing a professional athlete to a multi-million dollar signature deal? Of course, we know that sports brands wants to sell products, but when you do some research or you really look at the individuals slash consumers who's going to purchase this product, I would say, and I could be wrong, I haven't done any research on this, I'm just making a educated guess, is that 90% of the consumers who purchase that product are really not familiar with the brand ambassador, the professional athlete who's promoting the product. They're definitely not wearing the product as an on the court piece of apparel. I know that for sure, because I've done a lot of research on basketball footwear. I've been doing this research, or unofficial research, since the late 70s, early 80s. That's what made me actually fall in love with the concept of wearing products that were marketed as on the court products, specifically basketball, as off the court products that you wore as part of your fashion attire. That's when I actually fell in love and start really following how many consumers, and it would be unofficial. I would just ask a question. Damn, man, you play ball in those? No, no. I bought them because I liked them. And it was mainly streetwear. Footwear, excuse me. It was mainly footwear. But I would ask that question, and I could remember because I was always a fan. When I first started going to the Sixers games, my favorite time, and I'm a huge basketball fan, but my favorite time would be halftime, going down into the corridor and just standing around looking at all the amazing fashion styles. You know, halftime, everybody comes to either get some refreshments or they're coming down just to mingle, talk, see who's who. And I would love that, man. It was such an amazing fashion show. I was more excited to see that than, I'll be honest with you, to the game. Now, once the game got in the fourth quarter and it was an exciting game, and, it was nip and tuck, and your team was trying to win, and hopefully they wasn't getting blown out, then you would be into the game. But, man, I would just, it was just amazing for me to see the variety of fashion styles at half times of 76ers games. You really didn't. For me, it was always basketball. It was always basketball. I didn't see that when I went to other professional sports events. You see a lot of people at the Eagles games, and I'm a Philadelphia resident. I've been to other sports events outside of Philadelphia, but for this video, I'm just going to speak on Philadelphia. Eagles games, you really don't see a whole lot of fashionable people attending the games. I'm sure they are, but it's not like a basketball game. I guess it's the environment of a basketball game. It's the sport within itself, but I've always been a big fan of that. But getting back to the original topic is, why do you think athletic apparel companies, let's say a Nike. Nike was able to sell shoes way before they started partnering with professional athletes. Now, I do understand that that partnership just takes that shoe to a whole nother, or that apparel to a whole nother stratosphere. But I don't know. I guess it's a solid business move, partnering with a professional athlete. But the question I always had was, a majority of the individuals or consumers who's buying the product don't relate to the athlete who has the signature shoe deal. Because you see all type of people wearing these shoes, and a lot of times they're wearing the shoes because of the fashion aspect, because they like how the shoe look, which is cool. I totally understand it, and that's kind of what inspired me to create FashCon, fashion competition platform, where you can showcase items that you have invested your money into using a lot of the tools that we use every day in terms of social media, like taking photos, tagging the items that you're wearing, listing the brand name of the item, and a link to where users can find the item. These are how online companies advertise their product. These are a lot of the features that, let's say, Instagram or Facebook will offer, specifically Instagram. If you're buying an ad for Instagram, you upload a photo of the product that you're trying to promote, or you upload a video of the product that you're promoting. You're going to add a link either to your profile page or a link to your website where individuals can get more information about the product. They can actually see the product. They can get size information, the price. They can find out if the product is in stock. A lot of the same things that you do as a consumer on social media sites as a fashion athlete, you can build a business around. And this is what inspired me to create FashCon. Because the one thing that I do know is that we all, no matter what type of fashion style you have, we all invest in some type of fashion. And there's a market for the type of fashion that you invest in. What I mean by market for the type of fashion that you invest in, I mean there's somebody out there that's going to appreciate the type of fashion you invest in, or can relate to the type of fashion you invest in, or might want to know where you bought that specific item from. This is how you build a brand as a fashion athlete. And I created the term fashion athlete. I didn't create the term, but I created the term for my product. I have to clarify that, because I don't want to take ownership of the term. I created the term for my product because my background is competition. So I didn't want to create a platform where you could upload a picture, take or tag each item that you're wearing in the photo, submit the photo, and that's it. So now people, it's too much like other platforms out here. I wanted to distinguish myself or my platform from other platforms, and using my background in competition in sports and my love of fashion. Remember, I said it all started in the late 70s and the late 80s when I saw a lot of my friends and individuals in my neighborhood wearing products that were marketed as on-the-court products, specifically basketball shoes, as part of their everyday attire. We were doing it way back then. I can name a lot of sneakers. I can remember it like it was yesterday. It's a lot of sneakers. The Nike Blazer, the Air Force One, the Adidas Top 10, the Adidas Forum, the Nike Air Force One. Did I say that already? The Air Jordan. Once the Air Jordan dropped it, it was a wrap after that. think that was 85, and this 40 years later, and you see Air Jordan is the number one streetwear apparel in the world. Could be the number one apparel in the world. I'm not going to say that, but I know for a fact it's the number one streetwear apparel in the world. So, well, I'm not going to say I know that as a fact, in my opinion. From what I see with my eyes, when I see the purchasing power and the number in terms of Jordans sold each and every year, it makes sense to, make a blanket statement like that. But yeah, I just want to get on here, man, just reiterate that starting your own fashion athlete brand is real. It's a real attainable business. Photos are powerful. Just think about back in the day, there was always, it didn't matter what type of event you went to, there was always somebody there with a photo booth set up taking photos. And those photos told the story of that time. That you can look back on now when you had that photo album and you go in there and you see these different photos. It tells, where you were at, what you were doing, what that event was about. It makes you relive all those memories. Fast forward to 2025, photos are still powerful. Videos are great. Videos are amazing. But you can't tag a video. You can't click on a video and it'll take you to their website. You can do it with a competition post on the Fashion Count mobile app. And you can start your own fashion athlete brand. And the thing, I'm going to end this video with this. There's a market out there for you. Don't say, well, I'm not a fashion athlete. This wouldn't be a good business for me. No. People want to know you might have an item that they've been looking for or they can relate to or they like. Now you can tag that item and now they can click on the tag and potentially go buy that item. Now they might say, well, I'm going to subscribe to him because he wears some cool items. And they can be sitting somewhere across the globe. That's the beauty of the internet. Now, people don't have to see you to subscribe to you, or they don't have to buy a magazine, or you don't have to place an ad in a magazine or to be a model in a magazine, and that magazine has to be distributed in that specific city for people to see you. You know how it was back in the day. Now it's the internet. You have access to individuals around the world. So you can build a fashion athlete brand. It's definitely attainable. All right. As always, man, I appreciate all the views, even though I haven't been getting all the views, but I'm focused, I'm energized, and I'm going to stay at it every day. I'm going to jump on here and release content. It'll start to build. And once again, man, I appreciate Jacob subscribing to the channel, and the channel is all about educating. I like to put other content in here, but we're all about introducing, educating the concept of starting your own fashion athlete brand. I own and operate an amazing platform that's a mobile application on the App Store right now. It's an iOS mobile application. It's called FashComp. It allows you, or should I say it allows fashion enthusiasts, fashion consumers to start their own business as a fashion athlete. Soon, as we start to generate revenue, we're going to be adding premium subscriptions where you can start running your own FashComp events. You can start tapping into high schools, colleges, churches. There's a lot of clients that you can get, hospitals, with running FashComp events where they can do fundraising events, You can partner with politicians that do fundraising events because everybody who will participate in a Fast Comp event could start their own fashion athlete brand and start building revenue unintentionally. That's the beauty of what we're building here at Fast Comp. All right, as always, man, make sure y'all have a tremendous day, and we'll be back on soon on the Fast Comp Network. Take care. Peace.